Okay, that's the first time I've ever heard that, just so you know.
Official.
Yeah, I guess so. Um, okay. Oh, and then generally I kind of just do a quick introduction. I'll introduce you, take kind of 30 to 45 seconds to kind of just talk about yourself, give yourself a quick bio, and then we'll start ripping into it. So,
All right.
perfect. Okay. Count down here. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone, to the Turn Pod. I know it's been a couple weeks, but golf has been a little busy, so we took a little time away, but we're back at it. Today I have a very special guest, Katelyn Wright. Some of you might recognize her from the good old Nebraska days on
Yeah.
the Ladies Husker golf team. Some of you might recognize her from Instagram. She's got a pretty big following. Some of you might even know her from Symetra Tour and some of her playing things. So, Katelyn, go ahead and kind of introduce yourself for a little bit, and we'll get this thing going.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. I am went to school in Nebraska, born and raised in Lake Tahoe. Came from sports family. Mom actually played golf at Nebraska as well. So, it's kind of part of the fam. And just grew up doing a little bit of everything. Loved being a part of the sport and was able to take it a little bit further, thankfully. And so living out in Austin, Texas right now, playing on Symetra Tour and traveling around, getting 2021 season gearing up and going. Um, have a great coach out here and community, and it's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, we'll kind of lead off of that. So, if you could play one sport beyond golf, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Actually, track.
What was your
I
what
know,
was
such
your
a big runner.
what was your event? Like, what was your main deal?
I was an 800 and 400
Oh,
meter runner. I know,
oh,
like
oh,
the two worst ones. I was a
oh.
really big basketball player. My
Okay.
whole family is big basketball, older brother basketball. But when I'm done golfing, I want to get into some like half Ironman stuff and things
Oh
like
my
that. So
God.
I'm like, I hated track in high school more than anything. And now I'm like, I wish that I would have liked it a little bit more, but I enjoy it's kind of my thing outside of golf now. It's like golf has such a in your mind and mental sport. And I feel like running, you just gotta hit the pavement and go and kind of takes your mind off a lot of things. So
Absolutely. God,
yeah.
400 just so I was a sprinter. I couldn't handle anything more than about 200, and even at the 200 I was toast, but like 400 you're sprinting
I know.
pretty much the whole time.
Oh, for
Like,
sure. It's so hard, stupid hard. And then I just remember like my hardest 800 that I ever did. I will never forget it. It was our state championship, and our first lap was almost as fast as my 400 was. And I just looked at my coach and I was like, what am I doing here? Why did you put me in this? And now I look
Yeah,
back, I'm like, man, I wish I would have taken it a little bit more seriously than
that's
I did.
funny.
I know,
Oh,
I know.
that sounds horrible, but good for
It
you.
really
Like the
was.
Iron Man stuff is no joke, and
It is.
a lot of it's kind of like you said, a lot of it's just the mental part of it where you just got to get over that hurdle, and once you kind of get past that hump, then it's about putting mind over body and getting through it.
Yeah, there are just so many different ways that you can test the human body. I mean, we saw that this week with Phil, 50-year-old
Yeah,
winning the major. And it's like, you can do that in golf. You can do that, you see Tom Brady do it. And Ironman just such a different sport. And it's just so tactical. And the skill set is so different from golf, but also the same. And so I
yeah.
just, different way to push your body.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that field deal this weekend was pretty fun.
So
It's
awesome.
been kind of amazing, when you look at 2021, how many players have kind of made a comeback or have won after not having won for, a couple years. You look at Jordan and some of these other people that have made a comeback. It's awesome.
Stuart Sink coming back and
Yeah,
winning. You bring it all the way back to when Tiger won. It's
yeah,
like everybody thinks that the game is so young, which it is. And you have Colin Morikawa and, you still have all those young guys. Will Zagatoris, is that his last name?
Zalatoris. Yeah,
Whereas, you have so many great young players, but it shows you the wide variety of, I mean, just how incredible golf is. You will never see a 50-year-old, winning most other sports. And
Yeah,
so competing to that level on that stage. And I think it just shows such a great spirit of the game. It's awesome.
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so we'll get into some of these other ones.
All right.
What is one thing you would tell someone that is wanting to get into golf? One piece of advice.
Have fun. Don't take it seriously. I think so many people, they think, oh, it's just this little ball sitting on the ground, and they get so frustrated and angry. The amount of angry golfers I play with that just started golfing, I'm like, how are you that angry? I play golf hours every day, and I
Yeah,
don't even get that angry.
yeah,
So I think people just need to lighten up, and if it helps you take having a couple drinks on the course, or going out with family or friends, not even playing true golf and just playing games. I think that's the biggest thing, is just not to take yourself so seriously out there. It's not that deep. It's not that serious.
absolutely. It is just a game at the end of it all. It's
Yeah,
just, we're just out there to enjoy ourselves.
exactly.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given, golf or non-golf?
Be an athlete. Best piece of advice I've ever. College coach Robin always told us that. Um, it's so funny because golf is such a technical, when you really break it down, right? It's such a technical sport, and angles and geometry and whatever. And but at the end of it, it's like, if you think about throwing a basketball, you don't think about the angles and where you have to, how you're passing, you just do it.
Hmm.
So I think being reactive and just playing golf like an athlete and reacting to the target and reacting to things. And I think that can just go on in life in general, not just on the golf course. Just stop overthinking things, and it's not that serious. Just work hard at things, and being athletic and just moving your body
Yeah,
is so crucial and so important. And so that's probably been one of the best pieces of advice. My mom gave it to me growing up. She was my coach, and it was like, just, that's how she taught us, was just swing hard and be athletic, and we'll build your swing
yep,
around your athletic movement. And I think that's why I can always been able to hit the ball fairly far, and my brother has too, just because you're an athlete first and a golfer second.
absolutely. I love that. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Are you someone that listens to music when you play golf?
Yeah, I've listened to between music, podcasts, or sometimes I try not to do anything. I try not to have my headphones in very often, just so I can hear the golf ball. But yeah, I'll throw some music on when I can.
What's your playlist? What are you listening to when you're just in that mode?
Oh my gosh, like the shuffle is so weird. It's so random. Like Frank Sinatra come on, and then J. Cole will come on. And you're
Okay.
like, this is so weird. It depends on the mood. We played a couple weeks ago, and my caddy and I went out, and we had like Matchbox 20 radio on.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome. So it just kind of depends on the mood, a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Stay with the screamo stuff, but other than that, all fair game.
I feel like that would be hard to have a good tempo with.
Right? I think it just like stress you out. It just make you
Yes.
tense all the time. You gotta go and dance around and have some fun. And that's kind of what we did. We're like, what is gonna just loosen you up? When I play in tournaments and sometimes practice rounds and stuff, you'll have some music going, and it's anything that just like lightens the mood and makes you laugh.
That's awesome. That's
Hmm.
perfect. What is a 2021 goal that you have?
To win. Love to win. And honestly, just like, I guess winning is always a goal of players. I think the biggest thing is just to get out of your own way, get out of my own head. It's hard to it's hard to win tournaments. It's hard to say like, I want to do this, I want to do that. It's just controlling what you can.
Hmm.
And at the end of it, hopefully it comes in with a win, but I can't control what other people shoot and what other people do.
Yeah.
So but just continue to put myself in contention, and hopefully one of these days be able to break through that.
It's golf is one of those weird sports where, you can be an elite player without ever having won, and
Yeah.
without ever, really feeling that victory type of feeling. Basketball, you play a game every other night, and football you play, once a week, and all these sports you play all the time. But golf is one of those where you could play, kind of like you said, you could play every single day and not really ever win. So, it's just kind of like you said, it's getting out of your own way and just mentally kind of figuring out how to handle failure.
Yes, exactly. I just saw something Justin Thomas talked about today, and that was exactly what it was. It was just like, it's just such a weird game. You hit this little ball around, and it's so hard. It has no idea what age you are. It has no idea what's going on around you, and you put your entire energy into this little, like, 2-inch thing.
Yeah.
Crazy. And it just puts everything into perspective, that you just got to go and do what you can and take what you can control, and whatever happens happens, and hopefully it turns into wins. Confidence obviously is a big deal, but
Yep.
it's hard to put like a goal like that. It's always your goal, right? Make
Yep.
LPGA, win a major. I mean, we all talk about it growing up, and in order to do that, you got to progress and
Yeah.
everyday little steps. So it's just always having that confidence.
Yep. Absolutely. What is the worst part of your game?
Getting out of my own way. um, I think probably, I mean, it's always, my short game has always been something that I've really had to work on more so than anything else. And my coach and I put a ton of time into it, especially the last several months. And it's really come along. So it's just letting it happen at this
Yeah.
point and stringing rounds together. So I think that's my biggest thing is I'll go out and be really low one day and then moderate the next day, rather than consistently being able to stay,
Hmm.
3, 4, 5 under 4 or 5 days in a row, and
Yep.
that's probably where I'm at right now, that I'm just trying to, you just got to score.
Yep. What's the best part of your game?
Long game. My driver has always been the best part of my game. I'm a fairly consistent driver, very long driver, especially for females. So it's always a fun part of the game also. Um, I think my attitude is also one of the best parts of my game. I don't get too up and too down. I used to, but just I think that's one of the biggest things is just being grateful to be out there
Yeah.
and kind of taking that in when you're having a rough day. And I'm like, I am outside
Yep.
on a golf course, and
Yep.
it's so cliche to say, but it's so true.
Absolutely. There
Mhm.
there are worse places to be in the world than on a golf course. You still have to treat it like a job because it is, but at the end of the day, when you look at it, you're like, all right,
Yeah,
that's not a bad job to have.
this isn't a bad white wall to look at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Not stuck in a cubicle.
no, exactly.
What is one skill that you wish you had that is not golf related?
Ooh, um, gosh, that's a good one. I don't even know. That
Like
is
mine is I wish I could play the piano. I wish I knew how to play a musical instrument. And it's something I could learn how to do, but I'm like, meh, I got other things I'd rather do. But yeah, what's one thing like that that you wish you could do?
I wish that. Oh, I wish I was like actually had a decent voice. That would be kind of
Okay.
cool. I wish that I knew like how to code more about coding and like
Oh
software
yeah.
stuff, things like that. I feel like that's such a kind of loss, or speak a foreign language fluently. Those are probably a few of the things that I would wish I knew more about.
If you could pick a language, what would it be?
Mandarin.
Oh, that's a
No,
different one. That's not one many people would say.
no, and it's crazy because the founder, Megan, the founder of 4A, her
Okay.
daughter is 5, and in her school they speak half Mandarin and half English at 5 years old. And so she literally will come home and she just talks, and Megan knows Japanese, and so they'll go like back and forth. And I sit there and I go, "You're 5 years old. How? This is the coolest thing in the world."
Yeah.
We didn't do any of that stuff when we were kids. I mean, I didn't start
No.
Spanish until high school.
Yeah.
So when that time ever comes of having kids, I'm like, I'm putting you in Mandarin.
That's awesome.
I know. So
It,
ever since I hear her speak it, I'm like, I wish I knew that language.
what is one bad habit that you wish you could get rid of, golf or non-golf related?
Um, Golf or non-golf related. Chew a lot of gum. That's probably something I feel like I could get rid of. Golf or non-golf related. Something I've really worked hard on is being more present.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's so easy to like always be looking at the next tournament, the next week, the
Yep.
next goal. I mean, golf and non-golf related. And so for me, being able to sit there and like, I had a really good day today
Yep.
and being present in it, or that was a really good golf shot. And being able to just stay in that moment, or like, this is a really fun evening with family. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I think that's something, especially during COVID, that everybody kind of took for granted because it was like, when are we getting out of here? When are we getting out of here?
Yep.
And for me, I got to spend time with my family that I will never get to do again. And I got to spend 3 months at home with my parents. And I mean, like high school. And
Yeah.
so I really, when I was there, was able to sit back and just say, this is really cool. I mean, it's awful. Don't get me wrong. COVID itself and everything that happened was
Yep.
terrible. Also trying to sit there and be like, all right, it's been a terrible time, but we got to take some positives out of it. And so for me,
Absolutely.
spend some time with my family was definitely a positive. I tried to kind of turn around in a dark time.
That's awesome. That's, like you said, that's time you're never going to get back. So that's important that you were able to kind of spend that time with them and get that while you could.
Yeah.
Um, who would be in your dream foursome?
Dream foursome. I mean, you got to go with like, I mean, after the win yesterday, I would say Tiger, but then I'm like, I could take Phil after seeing him win that tournament. That would be a pretty cool, that would be pretty fun. I would Condoleezza Rice,
Okay.
definitely right up there. I think, oh my gosh. I always feel like I need to know this question because it's asked by so many people, and then I like start thinking about it. I'm like, I'll think about it another time.
Yeah.
Um, Tiger Woods is, I mean, you can't like not just sit there and watch him swing a golf club.
It's pretty unbelievable.
No. So I might just do like a Tiger Phil Condoleezza Rice combination.
That's a great, that's a great mix. You got,
Right?
like, Phil is pure entertainment. He's a great,
Exactly.
he's just constantly, flipping one-liners. He's awesome. Condoleezza is just off the charts smart and
Brilliant.
so many good stories of everything she's accomplished in her life. And then obviously Tiger is just
Can't go wrong with just like
pure.
watching swing a
Oh
golf.
yeah. Yeah. He doesn't have to say a single word to me the entire time. He could just
Oh,
hit balls.
yep. I'll just watch you swing. A couple different golf shots.
Yep.
I'm good just sitting there watching it.
Absolutely. Would you rather have to hit a hook or a slice for the rest of your life?
A hook. Oh my gosh. Take any right shot out of my game. That's one of the things that, I mean, it's like just go and hit a bunch of hooks. Getting that. I'm not a fader. I've
Okay.
never liked seeing fades out of the golf club. Like, I hate it. So, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Um,
As a guy that hooks the ball, I am, that just makes me cringe.
oh
Just
my
thinking
gosh,
about it.
really? So
Oh,
you're like a slice.
oh, I would take a slice. So when I first started, it was like 50-yard slices, and you just, like everybody does when they start, you aim so far left that it doesn't, there's no way that you're ever actually going to hit it left. And just play that big old banana slice, and I kind of wish I had that back now.
Oh my gosh, I will take away the right side of the golf course any day. If I can do that, I would be such a happy person.
Well, fingers crossed for you that you can make that happen, and that
I've
things.
been working on it actually. Yes. It's been a goal.
How many hole-in-ones do you have?
One. When I was 12 years old on Father's Day.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep. Yeah, sure is. My little brother actually hit it to a foot right after me. I was so angry because I thought he was going to get a hole in one. We were so
Oh,
competitive. And I was so upset that he almost had a hole in one because then he just teased me about it for like weeks.
he just couldn't let you have your moment.
No, you know what? He never can. He never will. But I've had a lot of hole outs. So that's like more my thing. But 87 yards, between 87 and like 95 yards, I have about 6 or 7 hole outs.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I know, I'm like, I just need to play a lot of par threes around that.
No kidding. Just go to Pebble Beach and play number 7 just over and over and over.
I know. Eventually I'll get it. But that wouldn't be a bad one to play all the time.
No, absolutely not. What's the favorite course you've ever played?
Um, I mean, you cannot go wrong with Pebble or MPCC. Those golf courses are two of my favorites. I have been fortunate enough to get out and play out at Nanea and Kukio out in
Okay.
Hawaii, with one of my sponsors and a good family friend. And I mean, I could play those golf courses every day for the rest of my life and never get tired of them. They're
That's
just
a pretty that's a pretty cool place to be. Like,
oh my gosh.
that would be awesome.
It really is. I like whenever I'm out there, I just look around and I'm like, this is not real life. This is just pinch me.
What's one course still on your bucket list?
Um, Cyprus, Augusta,
I mean, I kind of feel
Pine
bad for you
Valley.
because, like, the Augusta deal, obviously, having a gal from Nebraska playing it this last year was pretty special.
Oh, I know Kate. Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. I mean, that was pretty cool. And then have her play as well as she did day one, and have her be top 10 after day one, and it was pretty cool to watch. But, like, while you're happy for her, were you kind of a little bummed that you didn't get that same opportunity?
No, it's so awesome to see women's golf progress right now, and it's having a really cool moment. I think it's because golf is having a moment because
Mhm.
finally it was one of the things we could do in this pandemic. It obviously is so bittersweet to be able to see like, all of the girls out there now, which is so cool. But like, every female has always wanted to play Augusta.
Yeah,
So you have to sit there and be like, as cool as this is, I wish it would have happened 10 years ago.
absolutely.
Better now than never. And
Yep,
you're starting to see Pine Valley now accepting female
absolutely.
golfers. And so it'd be fun to get out and to be out in those places and play some of those courses. And,
It's
you know,
cool too, to see the gals play as well as they have at Augusta in the last, couple that they've done.
yeah.
They're not going out and shooting 74, 75, 76. They're out and shooting 66, 67, 68s, and
It's just
pretty
putting
cool.
women's golf on the map and really showing players, a lot of times it's funny and watching men play golf is the PGA guys is so fun. The shots that some of them can hit because of the torque and the power that they have. You only have a few players on the LPGA that can really get the ball out there like
Yeah,
that. And so I do understand from a standpoint how it's so much fun. Everybody loves watching men's golf, but it's been really cool to see some of especially the younger LPGA players
yeah,
coming out and playing and watching, even watching Augusta and all the guys who are like, oh my gosh, these females are awesome. We
yeah,
just, we're just never on TV very often. And so I think people are finally starting to get to see how good we are and how
yeah.
good a lot of these even younger female players are. And it's getting a lot more respect for the game, which is really cool to see.
It's awesome. Yeah, no, it's really great. What is your biggest phobia?
Oh my sharks. I have
Sharks.
the biggest. I mean, I feel like it's not. I feel a lot of people have that phobia. When I was younger, I actually fainted at an aquarium. And so when I was in high school, I was able to get out of class sometimes when we'd watch some of like the marine
Yeah.
shows and stuff because I'd start like hyperventilating and sweating. Yeah, like I've tried so hard. I mean, people are like, oh, you need to watch Shark Week. And I go, there's so many other things I would rather do with my
That's
day.
crazy.
So that's a big annoying phobia. Like getting in the ocean is really difficult for me.
I was gonna say, have you been to the ocean? Like, have you been in the ocean very much?
We were just out in Hawaii back in February, and it was the first time in years that I've actually gone fully like snorkeling
Yeah.
I mean, probably it's been a long time, a lot of probably over 10 years.
That's crazy.
Baby steps, baby steps.
Yeah, I mean, hey, just the nice thing about your phobia is that there's easy ways to avoid the Sharks. Like you just, you can avoid them pretty easily. So
Live in Tahoe.
yeah, exactly.
Get me to
Exactly.
the lake.
Or Austin, Texas.
Or
Yeah.
Austin, Texas. I know we don't really have to deal with any of that around
No,
here.
not at all. Okay, so a couple more fun ones, and then we'll get into some of the other ones. What is your favorite movie or movie series?
I don't know. Remember the Titans,
Mm,
hands down. I could watch that movie every day and never get sick of it. I
yep.
love any kind of a sport movie.
Okay.
I mean, kind of. I feel like a lot of athletes are like that. It's just such
Yep.
a kind of pump up thing. I love good football movies. Any of it.
Remember the Titans? I still will argue to this day has one of the best soundtracks of any movie.
Oh, it's one of the songs that comes up on my playlist all the time.
Is it?
Oh
That's
yeah, all of those are in there.
how can you not?
How can you not?
Okay, so here's a fun. We were just kind of talking about Augusta. So this is a question that we kind of ask around work a lot, and it's a fun one to ask. How big of a lead do you need to have on the back nine of Augusta? So you're standing on 13 tee box, okay?
Mhm.
With your current game, not like I've been, if I'm at this point, that means I'm playing really well. No, like current, how you are right now. Number 13 tee box. Everybody else is in the clubhouse on
Mhm.
Sunday at Augusta. How many shots do you need to be leading by to come away with the W?
I mean, if you're gonna put like masters conditions
All
on
the pressure, not
first,
necessarily, but like just the pressure.
her, um, a nice like 3-shot lead, I feel like would be
Okay.
a little good cushion. I hit a draw, I hit a hook, so some of those holes coming in, I feel like I can get my game there. 17 is always, you got to
Yep.
push it out to the right and let it come
Yep.
in. You just got to finish pars.
Yeah.
So I
13's a great, like great hook hole. Hit a
Yep,
big draw on that hole. 15,
exactly.
you can hit a big draw. Like, yeah, it sets up for a draw for sure.
Yeah. So I would say, but also pressure's pressure.
Yep.
So 3 shots kind of gives you a little bit of that cushion.
Okay, that's a fair number. It's funny. I'll ask some of those guys that question. They'll say, "Oh, I could do it with 2," or and these guys aren't schmoes. They're good
Yeah.
players. But like Phil had like a 4 or 5 shot lead on Sunday at Kiowa, and like there were moments where it's like, "Ooh, I don't know if that's enough."
I know, especially get conditions going. And if you give like a masters, the conditions of the masters and the
Yep.
quickness and the speed of those greens, people don't understand. It is truly like putting on concrete.
Yeah.
And I think that's also why golf gets this rap of being, oh, it's a tough game, but
Yep.
you're 50 and people are winning. It can't be that hard. It's like you're watching the highlight reels of
Yeah.
the winners. You don't see the guys struggling,
Yep.
and Augusta is not an easy golf course. I mean, you kind of
Oh,
saw that at Kiwa this last week, how hard it actually was. When they asked Joel, I can't, Durham, is that how you pronounce his last name?
Joel,
Yeah.
Damon, Daman.
And yeah,
Yes.
Damon,
Yep.
I think Damon. He was asked like what the average or a good player would shoot in those conditions during the practice round. He was like, you would not break 100. And I played Kiwa and I played the ocean course when it's been windy, and you're
Hmm.
like, this is just miserable. It
Yeah.
is so hard. You cannot control things, it's
Yeah.
just stress. And so you're out there hitting great golf shots and you're like, I don't know where this ball is going.
Yeah.
So they just make it look so easy. Phil made it look easy.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say, oh, this game is so difficult when that's all people get to see.
Absolutely. I
Mhm.
agree 100% on that.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll get into some of these other questions here. What is the biggest hurdle you feel that women's golf or that women, so what is the biggest hurdle that women face in golf right now?
Sponsorships,
Okay.
viewerships. It's hard to compete. It's a catch-22, right? And I think we talk about this all the time is, the money is just not there
Yeah.
for women's golf yet. And we've come such a long way, especially in the last 5-10 years. But you also can't get sponsorships without the viewerships, and you can't get viewerships without the sponsorships. So it's what every women's sport, other than really tennis,
Yeah.
has to deal with. And so I think it's really going to come down to having, those LPGA players like the Serena Williams. And I mean, Michelle Wie did so much for this game, and
Yeah.
it still is. And I mean, you still have the Corda sisters and Danielle Kang and a lot of those players that are so fun to watch. But I think until we start getting a lot more of the money behind us, like the PGA, it's just not as exciting to watch girls compete for, $500,000 compared to an
Yeah.
$11 million, purse.
Yeah.
So, I think that that's still the biggest hurdle that we have to face is, people really wanting to watch us.
Do you feel like the lack, and it's hard to say because obviously golf is, women's golf has had her, their Annika Sorenstams and their Lorena Ochoas and their, Lydia Ko at her peak was pretty dominant, and some of these gals. But I feel like with women's golf, other than maybe Sorenstam and Ochoa,
Mm-hmm.
there's the roller coaster ride is so fast, like it's so quick. How many of these women, they'll go out and they'll win 5 or 6 majors in a 4-year span, and then they just disappear for a while, and then they might come back for a little bit. But do you think that kind of hurts viewership a little bit because there's just not that consistent Tiger Woods? There's not the Phil Mickelson who's been doing it for 30 years and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that is, and it's that constant pressure that women have on themselves that you have to be this great athlete, but then, oh, you are 32. When are you going to start a family? When are you going to
Yep.
get married? And I mean, you see that so much, like Michelle Wie right now, and Katrina Matthew won the British Open 8 weeks after giving birth.
That's
Um,
crazy.
and you think about that and you're just like, the feet and just the fact that your body was able to do that. I mean, my mom was first alternate to the Women's US Open, 7 months pregnant with me. And it's just like, you can't imagine that.
Yeah.
And men, I mean, men don't have to deal with that
Yeah,
so much,
absolutely.
And again, the money's also there. When you're making the money, and like the Phils and the Tigers and those people at the peak of their game are able to travel with their families and have everybody
Yep.
on the road with them. And I think women, there's just a lot more, you have to be
Yeah.
there's so many multitasking and things that have to go on. And, you have a baby and it's like, all right, well, what do I want to do? Do I want to
Yeah.
sit down and have a family? And not saying that you have to make a decision, but I think it just makes it's a little bit harder for women to not make that decision so much.
100%. I agree with that 100%.
But
Okay. What are the next steps for you to reach your ultimate goal of the LPGA Tour?
just keep your head down and go. I think, like I said earlier, it's so easy to look ahead and say, why aren't I here? And the most fun part of golf and anything is just the journey. And I think we get it's so easy to look ahead and look at those big goals and I want to be here. I want to do this. And it's like, but it's everyday tasks. It's
Yep.
like checking something off every single day, getting a little bit better, knowing you're sometimes are going to take a few steps back to take a big step forward. And so I think it's just like sticking to the plan and believing in yourself and giving yourself, being around, surrounding yourself with the right people,
Okay.
with a good team. So I think for me, that's my biggest step is just being able to sit down and be like, I know that belief in yourself. I know I'm good enough. I know I can be there. And just like the day to day
Yeah.
in and out. Mm-hmm.
So what does the Symetra Tour kind of work like the Corn Ferry where they take top 25 on the money list? Is it, certain amount of wins gets you automatic qualification? Like, how does that work through that process?
It's evolving because of the amount of players that are in it right now. So we can still make the LPGA through Q School.
Okay.
They just brought in the Q Series, which I think 2020 I think was going to be the second year that had started.
Okay.
I believe they take the top 10 on the money list from Symetra, get their automatic card, and then the top 25 from Q Series then if you win 3 times on the Symetra Tour, you get automatic in.
Okay.
So there are a few different ways. Obviously it's kind of similar men Monday qualifying.
Yep.
So you can still do that and make an X amount of money doing that. I don't think there are as many women that do that as men do, sponsor
Okay.
events, things like that. But there are a lot of different ways to get in. They're all hard, but
Yeah.
none of them are easy.
Of course.
But yeah, there are different. They're trying to do it a lot more like the Corn Ferry, but we can get to the LPGA through Q School.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the biggest celebrity you've ever met?
Oh my gosh.
Golf, non-golf.
Golf, non-golf. I don't know, actually. I feel like I'm around a lot more of like executives, of
Yeah.
like company executives, than I am around celebrities. Um, I feel like that's one that I would have to sit and like think about.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough though to work with some really great companies over the years and be around some like extremely smart and humble people, and being in the same room as some of them has been, I think, even more fun and interesting than being in a room with a celebrity.
That's awesome.
But you're around any good golfer, good athlete. It's also like, this is the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, so I've had an advantage. Bill Murray's played it at Happy a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gotten to meet Bill a couple times and met some athletes and stuff like that. But, it is kind of funny how golf kind of creates this connection to people that you wouldn't normally get a connection to. The 6 degrees of separation doesn't exist in golf. It's more like 2 or 3 degrees.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
It's such a small community. It's crazy how small of a community and like network golf is around the world.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Who is your favorite LPGA player to watch right now?
Oh, the Corda sisters are so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Corda sisters, I love watching Michelle Wie when she gets out her golf swing and the energy that she has on the golf course. It's really fun to watch a lot of the U.S. women come out and are playing so well the last several years. And so I think I also think that's had a positive impact on just like the LPGA in America, seeing a lot of, players, a lot more people want to watch it. It's so much fun watching. I mean, obviously everybody and all how great, the Dutanagarn sisters are, and Indy Park, watching everybody. It's so cool. But I think from a viewership standpoint, it's fun to watch, the Corda girls come out and play, and it's always fun to watch Michelle Wie come and play golf.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just got such a good personality. She's not a machine. She has personality. She shows frustration. She shows happiness. She's not just,
exactly
straight and narrow. So that's perfect. What is your favorite or one of your favorite memories from your days at the University of Nebraska?
Oh gosh. My freshman year, I don't think I have bonded with a group of girls like we had our freshman year when I was there. And I think just like we going out to Kiwa, we rented one of the houses that like right on the golf course, on the ocean course.
That's awesome.
And it was just so much fun, coming out and going to San Antonio. We'd stay on the Riverwalk and play at Briggs Ranch. And a lot of those times you just don't get back. We're an extremely competitive team.
Mm-hmm.
We pushed each other really hard that year, that in my sophomore year. But at the same time, it was just, there was so much camaraderie. We all still talk, and one of them actually lives about 30 minutes from me here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's really fun to be able to continue to have that. So I think my best memories are still from just traveling and having that group of girls that you don't really get in golf. It's an individual sport. So having that team bonding was really cool and beneficial.
It was a great group of gals. Like having been able to kind of meet all of them and deal with you guys on a regular basis. Everybody was incredibly awesome. I mean, those
So
are great calls.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, I was like the best designated driver. And the fact that they realized that my dorm was like the perfect ending from bar nights,
Uh-huh.
I definitely got all of the fun from all of the from all of those
And you
days.
have all the stories. You're the one that remembers
I'm
everything.
the
'Cause
one that remembers
yeah,
them. Yes, sure do.
that's great. What is your favorite hobby outside of golf?
Um, Hiking, being out in nature, definitely my biggest thing. When I'm back home up in Tahoe, I have a 3-year-old dog, and she's like the biggest runner and outdoors
Mm,
in the world. And so whenever we go home, it's like we'll golf or we'll hike anywhere from 6 to 16 miles, four
oh my
days a week.
gosh.
And I mean, you're just out, like, no cell service and just walking around, and that's probably my favorite thing to do when I'm not on the golf course. Other than that, I have such a great group of friends out here, and being able to put golf aside and put training aside, as much as I love, being in the gym and running and things like that, it's nice to be able to be around people who have no idea what golf is,
Yep.
and have no idea really what you do for a living, and
Yeah.
the stresses of it. And you can kind of just like be normal, and not an athlete for a
Yep.
while. And so I think that that's one of my favorite things, is just being able to like um, enjoy being around friends, which
Yeah.
you don't really get to do a whole lot when you're on the road.
Absolutely. Okay. Somebody coming to Austin, Texas.
Mhm.
Where are you taking them out to eat? What's your favorite restaurant to eat there right now?
I was just having this conversation today. There are so many incredible restaurants in Austin.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Suerte over on the east side is one of our favorite. It's not even really, it's a blend of Mexican food and
Okay.
just a little bit of everything. Uchi's incredible sushi place. Jeffrey's is probably one of our favorite restaurants. It's just an incredible steakhouse out here. Um, got Oh my gosh, you can't even just pick one. So much good. There's so much good food in Austin. It's
There
like
is.
if you're gonna come to Austin, Texas, you have to come with an appetite. That
Yeah,
is,
absolutely. Like
yes.
my wife and I joke that when we go on vacation, it's built around food.
Oh yeah, especially out here. Like you
Yeah.
have Congress, the amount of great restaurants within a 10-mile, not even a 5-mile radius is just, you can't, it's like, I mean, obviously you get that when you go to New York or,
Yeah.
or something, but it's such a different vibe
Yeah.
out here. So yeah, but Suerte is probably right up there right now. It's one of our
Okay.
favorites.
All right. So everybody listening, go to, what'd you say it was? Swerk Day?
Suerte, Suerte, Suerte.
Swerk Day. Okay. All
Mhm.
right. All right. Everybody remember that.
Yes.
Okay. So just a couple more. This is always a fun one. So you have a 15-foot putt.
Hmm.
Okay. You don't get to see the putt ahead of time. If you make it, you win $10 million. But if you miss it, you can't play golf ever again.
Hmm.
Do you take the putt?
For sure.
You do.
$10
Oh,
million. I'm pretty confident with, if it's like as long as if I could choose how it broke,
okay.
it just, you don't even have to tell me, like, I don't even have to see it, but just be like, okay, give me like a right to left breaking putt. It
Okay.
doesn't matter how much. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question, but I think I would take it.
You have a lot more confidence than I do because I am for sure just walking away. Now I'm a terrible putter. So anything outside of about 3 feet, I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm gonna walk away and keep
You
playing golf for for the rest of my life.
know what? I think I would just be like, look, if I didn't win, $10 million and continue to play, if it was like, all right, I feel like that's just the universe saying, you missed this putt, pressure, couldn't deal.
Yep.
Just, you're good at a lot of other things.
That's really good. Okay, so we always end on these two questions. So when you are making the turn, what is one thing that you always have to buy when making the turn?
This is going to be kind of controversial. I don't eat or drink a lot. I mean, I drink a lot of water on the golf course, and I drink a lot of like electrolytes on the golf course. Kion is one of my favorite things I take with me. It's like an essential amino acid kind of powder that I always have with me.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm kind of, it depends on the day, the time of day that I'm playing golf, to kind of like what I'm eating. I try not to get anything that spikes my blood sugar too much. So like
Okay.
bananas and things like that, I try not to eat a lot personally for me, because I can really feel a difference in like my breathing.
Yep.
Oddly enough, hard-boiled eggs for me on the golf course are
Okay.
really great, because it just like, it keeps me satisfied, and protein is so important, especially
Absolutely.
on the course, and keeping, you full longer, having those fats in there. So I stick kind of more towards that when
Okay.
I'm playing. If it's not a tournament though, I love a good tequila soda.
Okay.
That always is like a great thing to have before you make the turn. But if it's a tournament, then I try and stick away from that.
You stay, yeah. I mean, you do do what you're supposed to do. But if you're
What I'm
just out
supposed
there
to do.
messing around, your
Yeah.
tequila soda's the drink.
Yep. Always.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can get down with that.
yeah,
And
for sure.
then, are you a hot dog or hamburger gal?
Hamburger.
Amen.
Accent.
Although I gotta be honest, if a place is known, like not known, because you can't really be known for a hot dog, but like if they got a good hot dog, I'm probably getting a hot dog every time.
We just have so many great like hamburgers, and like obviously Nebraska did too, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, one of the courses we play, they have at the turn, they have their own brisket, and like, I mean, they make all their own stuff. So I'm like, you know what? If you're gonna have it, I'll
Yeah.
take all of that any day
Yeah.
over just a hot dog that I can get up at the.
I have never heard that before. Brisket would be really good.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, Escondido, which is up in Marble Falls out here. They have like, he does his own, smokes it. Has like its own, it's like a smoker. I don't know much
Oh
about
my
grilling.
gosh.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's so good.
That's a like that's kind of, to me, that kind of sounds like the burger dog at Olympic, or
Yeah.
like something where every single time you're there, like you can bet I'm getting a brisket.
Yeah. Like a pimento cheese at Augusta. You
Absolutely.
always have to get the brisket when you're up there.
Absolutely. Okay. And then here we'll finish on one more.
Okay.
Do you eat wings?
Not really.
Okay. When you do, are you a flats or drumsticks person?
What's the difference?
So like drumsticks are obviously like the legs, right?
Yeah.
Like a they look like a turkey leg or whatever, just obviously much smaller. The flats are like the little flat, what they call wings,
Mm-hmm.
and they have
Oh, a drumstick.
drumstick. Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a flats guy.
You really?
Oh yeah.
We're 0 for 2.
It's the meat to sauce ratio is better in a flat.
Oh, that's
So
probably
it's
it. That
oh yeah,
makes sense. It's kind of
yeah.
hard to get on a drumstick. I'm not a big sauce person, so that's probably why. I like to like taste my food. Sometimes I feel like
Okay.
when people put sauce on a lot of things, they're hiding something.
I mean, that's because they are. I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
they are. That's true.
yeah,
That's absolutely what it
like
is.
when they're doused in sauces, I'm like, there's something wrong with this.
I'm a sauce guy though, so I'm a
Uh,
terrible person to ask about that because I drown everything in
You
sauce.
know what though? I also think that's like a Midwest. Nobody
It
at
is.
Madison for saying that, but like growing, like having my
Yep.
parents grow up in the Midwest, and like my whole family kind of being out there, they love their sauce.
Oh yeah.
Like,
It's ranch, Thousand Island, like everything is drowned in sauce.
it's so funny. Snicker salad is a thing that like is actually, I don't know if it was just my family,
Oh
but when
yeah.
my parents bring it up on the West Coast, I mean, nobody knows what that is. Like, we're Californians, don't know what a Snicker salad is. And so my aunt's recipe is always like half the apples, double
The
like
Snickers.
peppers. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just so just my
Only in the Midwest could you put a candy bar in something and call it a
but a
salad.
salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
apples in it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no. We always had apple salad or Snicker salad. And we always had the Jello salad,
Yep.
which was
What
like
makes it a salad? I'm
no, yeah,
really curious.
exactly. Just 'cause
Yeah,
you put tiny little chunks of fruit in it does not
I
make it a
know.
salad.
Exactly. So I always think about that. I'm like, I love it. I love the effort.
Yeah.
But you try and go to like a San Francisco and try and sell a Caesar salad,
Yeah.
people are gonna look at you like you are absolutely crazy.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. Okay, that was it. So thank you.
Hey, of course.
Where can people follow you? Where can they get at you? You're pretty active on social media, which is awesome. Where can they kind of follow you and follow your journey?
I do most stuff on Instagram. I don't dabble with TikTok or any of that stuff. Instagram's enough
Yep.
energy for me to have to deal with. That having another platform is just way too like exhausting. But Kate Wright Golf, really simple, straightforward. Uh, that's usually kind of where it's easiest to follow me on that. And yeah,
Awesome.
about it.
What's your next tournament?
Um, Texas State Open in about a week or so, and
Okay.
then yeah, I can't believe we're already in June.
I know.
So
It's flown
gearing up
by
for
this year.
I know,
It's
I
crazy.
know. It's
Where's the Texas State Open at?
out in Paris, Texas, and I'm blanking on the name of the golf course. It's changed over the last couple of years a few
Okay.
times. So, but it's one of the best tournaments. It's a great event. Texas does such a great job. Uh, Women's even like mini tour stuff has come a really long way. They've done it like the WAPT tour has done a great job. They're a lot more kind of Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas based.
Okay.
But they do a lot of stuff with the Symetra tour and a lot of big partnerships in that way. So it's been really cool to kind of see. It's like an Adams tour for females, and
Okay.
so they're starting to really bridge the gap, which
Yeah,
we never really had before. So yeah, just plug along, keep going.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Well, good luck.
thank you.
Thank you for coming on. Really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Um,
Absolutely.
it's good to see you,
You too.
and keep grinding.
I will
You'll get
stay
there.
stay warm out there. Stay cool out there.
Yeah,
Actually,
we're getting to the point now where we're getting into. We had to flip the air conditioner on about a week ago, and it's been running pretty hot and heavy. So
oh, bless.
yeah, yeah, it's been great. It's been great. Looking
Yeah,
forward to
yeah.
it.
I don't mind that over the snow. I'll take it.
I'm a cold guy. I will take cold weather all day.
Oh, nope. I got out of Nebraska for that reason. I've
That's
been
exactly right. That's why you're living in Texas. So,
no, I know. I
all
know.
right. Well, be good.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
having.
And
Appreciate it.
we'll catch up soon.
Yep, sounds great.
All right. We'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye.